I am very challenged by what you have here today, and thanks to Botopra for organizing this, because then it measures very well, as a speaker has said here. I think it was the MC. Yes, it's useful that as organizations, as UNHCR, as CTD, whoever else is doing this good work, that we are accountable, that we do that which the mandate of our organizations has set out to be, and that's our responsibility. But we will only be able to picture these things our way, our orientation. It is a lot more different, a lot more refreshing when you on your own have this initiative, because then it is, you consider things from your own terms. Then when you bring it out, and when we are able to come together now, it makes more meaning that you are able to help us understand the real issues. You are able to help us understand what you would consider the best way to deal with them. You are able to tell us or help us understand what the priorities ought to do. And this is the way to go. I pause at that. When you invited me, you had a communication and you were talking about issues of resilience. And I had a little time to reflect. So maybe if you allow me a minute or two, then I'll come to the issue of these refugees that have great potential, lakini shida ni moja.
Yeah, shida haidini.
All right. To say this, when we speak about resilience, we speak about challenges that we face as human beings. And there are men and women that have thought about these issues in the past and come up with some of the greater challenges that we face regarding our resilience. Resilience being our capacity to move through adversity. That sounds poetic. Our capacity to move through adversity. And that is, however many things you're facing, however many problems you're facing, you are able to continue. You're able to move on. That's what resilience is about. And when we are challenged when it comes to resilience as human beings, one, because of what one describes as absolutism. That's the first challenge. That we put ourselves in situations where we are sort of boxed about what should be. So I must be married by the time I am 30. You know, if you put yourself in a box, that will definitely occasion stress if it does not mature as you have planned it. You know, I must have finished college and gotten a good job by this time. You know that. So that's one problem of absolutism. There's also a challenge of, I could describe it as an issue of belonging or acceptance. That it's natural as human beings that we put an expectation that others will love us, will support us, will care for us. If then they fail us, there's a problem. So that challenges resilience. There are also issues or challenges that come in view of what we expect ourselves to achieve. Success. All right? We are born to be competitive. We feel we ought to make it. Now again, if we encounter failure, that again is a challenge. And finally, I hope I can remember the final bit as we go on. But we have challenges that we face that we must overcome if we are to identify ourselves as being resilient, regardless of what our station in life is, whether you have an idea or not. I mean, regardless of what the problem is. And so there are certain things that predispose us towards being more resilient, and we have to harness those things. What is it that makes us more resilient? And because we have limited time, I just want to say that there are things about or around oneself, yourself as an individual, that you need to work with to strengthen yourself. All right? And they include self-care. You know, there are those who say, if you don't love yourself, who will? So you have to find ways of caring about yourself. You have to find ways of continually affirming yourself. All right? If you don't build confidence around yourself, who will be confident about you? Yeah. So you have to find ways of strengthening that. Then we have to appreciate those that are within our proximity, starting from family. All right? We have to value those that we have in terms of family or those that are close to us, because then they continually reinforce us whenever, you know, things are wearing us out. All right? And finally, we have to reach out to the resources right from within to wherever it is, and it's good we are talking about initiatives in Kitengela and what. We have to reach out to resources within and outside that help us to build our resilience. Sure. All right? I mean, that's how I would put it in a word about resilience. This year we had the commemoration of the World Mental Health Day, observed on October the 10th. And the theme of this year was around the issue of suicide. Because globally, it has been observed that there's quite an unfortunate trend in regard to people taking their own lives. So we have to ask ourselves, what is it that contributes to situations that people feel worthless, helpless, and what can help to build that? I am very challenged by what you have here today, and thanks to Botopra for organizing this, because then it measures very well, as a speaker has said here. I think it was the MC. Yes, it's useful that as organizations, as UNHCR, as CTD, whoever else is doing this good work, that we are accountable, that we do that which the mandate of our organizations has set out to be, and that's our responsibility. But we will only be able to picture these things our way, our orientation. It is a lot more different, a lot more refreshing when you on your own have this initiative, because then it is, you consider things from your own terms. Then when you bring it out, and when we are able to come together now, it makes more meaning, that you're able to help us understand the real issues. You're able to help us understand what you would consider the best way to deal with them. You are able to tell us or help us understand what the priorities ought to do, and this is the way to go. I pause at that.
Thank you. Okay, I want to hear some questions from the audience. Anyone with a question?
And the refugees, and let's not call ourselves refugees. Just let us just be like one family. You see, as in like the say you say yeah, lack of employment. You see, even me, I'm a graduate. I've done bachelor's of commerce. I graduated last year at KU University. I've not gotten employment, and yet I have an ID. You see, yeah? I have an ID, and I have not gotten a job. You see, as much as we're focusing on refugees, let us all try to come up with solutions of the way forward. How are we going to create opportunities, job opportunities among ourselves, whether Kenyan or refugees, and the issue of IDs. I hope the UNHCR, I don't know what can help us with that. Let us not just limit the Kenyans or the other people. Let us walk. This is a journey. We have to walk together so these people can understand that the pain we are facing, it's hard and it's painful, because imagine you've studied for almost 8 years and you haven't even got employment. Yeah.
Okay, let's have one more. You may answer.
Yeah.
Yes. I may raise him.
I'm Stephen once again. I will have one question to pose to our person from UNHCR. My question is, UNHCR is umbrella to all refugees, and you have saw all these youth that have in these talents to do something in the society. Can you organize an event that can expose these youth to the society, or the government of Kenya, or the other NGOs that can come in to assist these youth? Thank you.
One on youth and UNHCR. Yes, UNHCR does have a strategy on youth. Right now we have a few activities that we are doing under the Child Protection Program. So the Child Protection Program is also the one handling the matters youth. They include some sporting activities, football tournaments. Maybe some of you may have heard of some. It's good that he has mentioned a marathon. We also have I'd call it a fairly model project for refugee athletes. That has included some refugees that were given for the first time an opportunity for refugees to participate in the Olympics. It may in itself not provide that great or broad an opportunity, but in terms of the advocacy that we are discussing here, the recognition of refugees as people with their capacity, with their talents, and given the opportunity, people who can also excel, that's useful. And it's our hope that with the resources we're going to continue to have more presence or more opportunities for youth. What she says about refugees and Kenyans plays very well to our current conversation globally. The global approach right now towards refugee, and this the new orientation, is towards what's being called the Global Compact. So you think of the refugee problem not in silos, not about camps, but about how do you bring resources together so that they benefit both the refugee and the host. So indeed, it is the direction of the future. It's the direction that we want to go. And even here in Kenya, it may not be in that significant a way yet, but the model that we have at Kalobey is, geared towards that direction. But the practice amongst a lot of the work that UNHCR and partners are doing is that right now we have provisions that wherever there is a project for refugees, there's a provision for the host community, and that's the trend going forward. Could UNHCR organize events for youth? UNHCR already organizes events for the youth. I've talked about some of the projects, including the athletes project, but we have also had activities under the livelihood project. We've been working closely with partners such as DRC. We've also worked with Refuge Point that give opportunity, including for both skills, talents. You may have been aware of in the past when we've worked with Kenyan artists that promote refugee artists. Those are some of the approaches that we've had. But we've also had opportunities in business where again we partner with Kenyans or organizations that are based here in Kenya to provide those opportunities. And again, these are things that we'll continue to do. I'd forgotten one bit, and my notes did remind me. The last bit I wanted to talk about resilience was the point on comfort. You know, that we have a drive that we'd like to be comfortable or to be stress-free. You know, you want to be in a place where, yeah. So again, that is also, you know, an expectation or a challenge that contributes towards stress or eroding our resilience.
There's a program, I don't know if it's a program organization by UNHCR, the Luku tribe. Can you expand maybe more on that, on if there are opportunities for refugees or youths or Kenyans? How exactly is that model about Luku tribe?
All right. Luku is an innovative approach towards both raising awareness on refugees, but also raising resources towards supporting refugees. And the idea is to get communities within where refugees are hosted to identify with both the cause and also to be motivated to support the same. So essentially that is what Luku is about.
So I have question and comment. My question is about the KRP. For those who are in urban refugees, the ID, they are not available on website. In Kakuma, they are available. I don't know what is, if it is the system or what. Second is about the CBO. Remember the meeting we had in Westland concerning with the way they can support us. The CBO, they are there in the communities as we see us. The DRC respond is a good idea, like the way you told us last time. Because without your support, we could not be there. Because again, we could not be unknown. Because many of people, they normally see Westland. You are passing by. Many of us could not come to your office and see you there. People are there. They have many CBO, but the lack of registration in terms of ad-buy, DRC is working, but we are waiting for support. They visit our offices, but through you. But without your recommendation, they could not come. We ask you because you see, because most of our CBO we meet with the host community. It's not for refugee alone. It is we meet with the Kenyan and the refugees. In case you hear any opportunity, just link us, because we also have your contact and email. Just share what your proposal. We appreciate what the UNHCR is doing about the football tournament. People are participating. We will start it next week on Monday. So that one is good for our youth. They really love it because they say we'll give you equipment for the football. Now they are happy because when you buy your ball, they don't need money. then you just go to the field. And that one, when you have a trauma, when you go to play it, the trauma will go away.
Can a refugee be employed beyond being just an interpreter? Because most of us were just being employed as and because I've said that you have educated us, like us since primary. I've been educated by these NGOs. I'm in university. But being employed beyond being an interpreter, it's a challenge. Why?
My question is on the issue of trauma and healing. I've discovered that a number of refugees, and especially where I come from,
one was a sort of a mapping exercise.
And these the causes of this trauma. One is the issue of the conflict they went through. One is also the issue of these cultural practices. Like where I come from, they still practice this domestic violence. So, and so many other causes. So, what is UNHCR doing mostly maybe in Nairobi and any other urban area? And could there be a way also you can also collaborate with these CBOs and NGOs to help you create more awareness? Because you go to churches, like me on a Sunday, also stood up and also give some, advice and also try to assist. So if there could be a way you can also engage these people, not necessarily maybe funded projects, but also even give them materials which they can use wherever they go and meet people. Even more careful.
One, just to appreciate that the setup in the refugee camps as opposed to the urban program is a little different. And it means then because of the confined scope within the camp, sometimes there's greater pleasure to have organized, or arrangements that are more convenient than here, where people are widespread. And so that would respond to what you're saying about IDs. We have had recently very healthy interactions with the government, the Ministry of Labor, under which CBO registration falls. And we had a session with them in Kakuma and drew a plan that should allow us in the coming months to be able to register organizations there. This, in Nairobi, before the end of this month, we're going to have a similar session with their lot to discuss the best approaches towards the registration of CBOs, including those thorny issues that you've mentioned, like the KRA PIN, and how best we can go about them. Appreciating that, when it comes to government and the registration of groups, one of the things is that, people have to be properly identified. So how can we enhance or make it easier for groups to be identified, and therefore for the registration process to be smoother? So I hope from the issues we'll be concluding before the end of the year, maybe in the coming months, we'll start having an easier time with these processes. And yes, it does help where we have groups that are mixed, both host and refugees. But it does not negate where there is uniqueness, that you have Kenyan groups solely, Kenyans, and refugee groups having only refugees. I mean, that's the nature of things.
Sorry. To add on that, as yesterday I went to Gitengela, there is some group already they have CBO, they have signed to them here in Nairobi. Yeah, already like 5.
Because what I can say, during our training as a paralegal, we're supposed to register our CPO as a paralegal.
Yes.
So, Madam Nyagozie, because I don't know, I normally see her on TV, but I don't know if she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
She's the one who taught us. She told us if the Kenyan could be number 1, according to what he told us last time. Even Said was there. He said, for you people to go forward, when you approach the government office, when they see you are a foreigner, they will not. That is what we hear.
That's fine. But I don't think it is one against the other. because every organization exists because it has certain objectives. It is those objectives that then inform you who you will engage. So yeah, it may be mutual that you work with the Kenyans, but it may also be mutual that groups work differently, which is fine as well. On employment, yes, we have provisions within Kenya for employment where it comes to refugees, but then you need a work permit. And there are processes towards that, and RAS does support or facilitate that. There are challenges, but yeah, there are provisions in regard to the Employment Act. Of course, then in terms of how it operates, it obviously is very protective of the citizens. So I mean, it has to be also opportunities that are presented that are fairly unique. So I mean, there are provisions towards what it takes. On trauma and healing, yes, it's a big issue. It's a big issue, and big issue because essentially when we are talking about refugees and the causes of flight from their countries of origin, yes, it means that we have a lot of issues regarding trauma. Yes, we have programs relating to trauma healing through our different partners led by HIAS. We have programs for providing counseling towards that. But we also work with the Center for Victims of Torture, CVT, that has a fairly elaborate program specifically addressing trauma. And if you are aware of any cases of people who have undergone, very serious forms of trauma, then I would recommend that is one of the considerations you'd make, to refer them to CBT. And if you'd like us to share the same with CBT, you can share with us. Those are the issues.
Okay. I think, remaining. One.
I'm not asking a question. I want to comment on something that Jackson said about the global compact. I think this is something that is also driving to the sustainable development goals, which are there to say that you're not supposed to leave anyone behind, you're supposed to get everyone on board in whatever you're doing. And I wanted to mention that IRC is doing sort of these. They have 40% of their services to Kenyans or locals, and then 60% to refugees. So that means that even Kenyans can also get the services, and they have quite a number of services they are doing. There is internship, there is vocational training, there is business support. So my friend can also maybe look for IRC and get some of these opportunities.
All right, and if you allow me to also mention that we have had, especially this year, regard to matters regarding community-based organizations. We had 2 trainings, and some of you, Dr. definitely was engaged. One was a sort of a mapping exercise in terms of getting to understand, which we elaborated through an activity that was conducted most recently by DRC. And the idea is first to get to understand who these CBOs are and what their mandates or their focus is, to also inform how best we could intervene. In fact, from the results of the exercise that was conducted by DRC, we developed a kind of summary in terms of even the needs, as were expressed by the different CBOs. So we look forward to engaging even more meaningfully in the coming days. All right.
Yeah,
we are hopeful.
Yeah, I think we are at the end of the session, so we can appreciate it for Jackson and we are almost at the end of the session.
Anybody was something to say? Okay, our sister Doreen.
Okay. For closing remarks, I I just want to urge you all. Ukiangalia 90% of youths die every day because of robbery and drugs. So let us grab those people. Let us walk with them.
Okay.
It's about competition. Like us as NGOs, me personally from South Sudan, the wars had something to do with tribe. So when we come here, I've noticed when they open most of the NGOs and the CBOs, they are tribalic. You'll find there's for this tribe, there's for this tribe, and then there's a lot of competition. And that's, in the first place, that's why you're refugees, because there was a lot of competition in your country between tribes. So when you come here, people should avoid the competition. You see, this NGO has done this, I need to do something bigger than this. This has done this, I need to beat them out. No, what should be there is unity. Yeah.
One person. Yeah, okay, only two. So, now believe.
Okay, I'll say three things. One is about funding. What we need to focus our mind to is partnerships. When you partner with other NGOs that are already there, you're gonna get ways of getting funding and doing some of these activities. That's one. Two, the podcast that I had mentioned, it's a show called We Believe in Youth Show. So when you go to hearthis.at, just type here We Believe in Youth Show, it will come 4 episodes. And the last thing was it? Yeah, the last thing was we are talking with the guys at Kakuma, Youth Voices of Kakuma, and we are organizing to have a session with them, and we're hoping that we can approach UNHCR and other organizations to be part of it, and more so to have a way of getting mentorship and support from them. Thank you for that.
Okay, the last one. Okay, mine is a suggestion. After this, so what next? Okay. So why don't we come up with a network, starting by you, even if we are not the only people who will be in the group or the network, bring other people on board. Because there's strength in unity.
Shukrani sana kwa wote ambao mliweza kuhudhuria na kuchangia kwa maneno ambayo ni matamu na yatatujenga. Pia as a recommendation, na recommend first Portopra, hii mkutano ipanuke. As he said. So ingine ni wandugu wenzangu, na mimi kwani amujaniuliza hata jina ama nafanya. Nilipotea mpaka nashindwa. As an MC, meda na MC tu. Naitwa Gaston Mnezero Ilunga. Mimi na organization naitwa PUDA, Power of Unity. Power of Unity Association. So hiyo sisi ni mambo ya kifedha, tunachanga pesa sana, tunanunua maplot hiyo, hiyo ni mzuri. Hata tuli benefit from UNHCR partners DRC, tumekuwa na hiyo inaitwa hiyo kuunganisha vikundi, tuliita nini na CVSLA nimesahau, lakini ni kuunganisha vikundi alafu tu wakatufanyia hii registration of CPO. Ingine ni kusema ukweli, kutegemea mashirika, ndio mashirika yanatusaidia. Mimi nasemanga UNHCR ni kama si kama Mungu, lakini inawaka kama Mungu. Kwa nini? Sio kwa sifu. Mungu hawezi kusaidia kile ambacho unaweza, anakusaidia kile chenye uwezi. Lakini kile chenye unaweza kikiacha, anakuacha pia. UNHCR pia inasaidia wale ambao wako na kenye wamefanya. Hawatakutambua kama hujafanya kitu. So si azini kukusaidia, ni kimawazo na kukuelekeza kama vitambulisho. Tuwe watu wa kusaidia, hapana wa kusaidika. So as in I'm finished my task. Let me give the microphone to
makofi mazuri bana. Ametusaidia kwa kazi nzuri. Na mimi ninapomalizia, jambo la kwanza ni kuwashukuru sana thank you very much for coming. So it's very important you have been with us and you made this event successful. That's number one. I thank you guys. Number two, please, I recommend you. We are Boltopla TV. Go on YouTube, give us a subscribe, because we are documenting, or we are telling the stories about refugees. We want to showcase people the resilience of refugees. Lazima wajue. The world will not know if we kept quiet. So we have to do something. And everyone knows the role of the media to spread the information or to change the perspectives of people. So we are there. Number three, I want to thank our media team. On the camera is Steven Ganza. He's a trainer at Boltopla. On another camera is Benjamin. And we have others, I think they have introduced. Pasi Paxplo. He has been a student at Boltopla, and he went to pursue his passion at Talanta Institute. Now he's a good photographer. So this is what Boltopla wanted. We are nurturing talent, then they go out there, they use the skills they learned at Boltopla and make money. They can believe. That is the resilience. Number four, as I finished, this event, as this man has said, what's next, or expand this event. So as I said earlier, this is the first time young people sit together, we showcase to the world the resilience of refugees, that we can do great things despite the challenges and the problems that we go through, but we can rise above the situation. So to inspire our fellow youth refugees who are watching what we have said, but also to tell the world that they have to change the perceptions. So the event next year, we are hoping to have, hata kama ni kwa unajua siku hizi mtu anakuja kama umemfanya, lakini hiyo tutafanya, but we believe in God. This will happen, but 2020, don't miss.